stage is Shahbaaz!
Hello, hello. How are we all doing? He is pretty sexy. She's right. It's weird to come from a man to a man, but here we go. I'll start off by telling you a little bit about myself. My name is Shabazz, and I'm of Asian heritage. More specifically, I am half Indian and half Iranian. No, please, hold the applause. There's a revolution going on. But no, it's an interesting mix, being half Indian, half Iranian. It technically makes me an ethnic minority, which I'm not gonna lie, I've always found it quite weird that we refer to Indians as a minority, even though we make up an eighth of the world's population. Do you know what I mean? Like, how can we be a minority when there's literally 1 billion of us? And that's just counting the ones in Birmingham. I really get it. It's quite funny. I ran that joke by a friend, and he was just like, "No, obviously, no one thinks you're a minority in like the grand scheme of the world, but it's just like you'd be a minority if you were to live somewhere like Glasgow, let's say, or like let's say you lived in like Alabama. You'd be a minority there." And I was like, "That's true, but you know what else is a minority in those places? Teeth." So I don't think we should be taking them too seriously. Just a fun one. That's interesting. I had quite an interesting upbringing as well, because I was born in England, but I grew up in Dubai. And whenever I tell people this, I always feel like they think I had this like really lavish and exciting upbringing. But the truth is I didn't. Because we lived in Dubai between 1996 and 2004, when it was shit. Because we didn't have like fast cars and tall buildings and huge malls. We had sand. Kind of everywhere. There wasn't much going on. There was really not much to do. I mean, telling people you lived in Dubai in the early 2000s is kind of like telling people you had sex with Kim Kardashian in the early 2000s. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one's that impressed by it because it took place before all of the money and construction work. Doesn't really count, It's an interesting experience. But I don't know. I've always felt like I quite like shit on Dubai. I always say, "Oh, it was so terrible growing up there," but it wasn't that bad, There was a few things I struggled with though growing up in Dubai. I think like one of the things I really struggled to do in Dubai was date. I always found that quite hard. I think the main reason I struggled to date in Dubai is because I was 5. Makes it quite difficult, Because I don't know if you know this, but it's quite hard to get laid in Dubai as a 5-year-old, Because Dubai is a Muslim country, not a Catholic one, and that's a joke we're applauding. Nice. It says more about you than does me. No, thank you. But no, I've been trying to date recently, and I'm not gonna lie, dating's new to me. I've never really done it before. Like, I'm brand new to it. I'll be honest, dating's never really appealed to me. But something else that doesn't really appeal to me is dying alone. So gotta choose one. But I've been trying, man, and it's been all right? But I have been struggling a bit. I thought I'd have more success at first, because I went on dating apps and I saw like a lot of girls were saying the same thing. A lot of girls would be like, "I'm just looking for a guy who doesn't take life too seriously." Do you know what I mean? I'm looking for a guy who doesn't take life too seriously. And when I saw that, I was like, I'm the perfect candidate. I mean, think about it. I'm 27, unemployed, single, live with my parents, and trying to be a stand-up comedian. I think it's pretty safe to say I don't take this life shit seriously at all. I mean, it's quite alarming how unserious I am about life. But I think the main issue I've been having is that I don't think I'm much of an alpha male. I don't think I give off like alpha male vibes, I usually leave a pause in case anyone wants to disagree. You all seem pretty on board with that statement, so we'll move on. But I realize this, man. I know this about myself, but I'm also not good at like texting, like flirty texting, like sexting. I'm bad at all that. Like, I don't really understand it. Like, I'm really bad at like picking up hints and cues and all that kind of thing. And all that kind of stuff. And then especially like the sex, like one thing I never understood is like, when guys are just like, "Girl, I'm gonna fuck you so good, you ain't gonna be able to walk in the morning." You ever hear this? Like, "You're gonna need a wheelchair." That's a threat. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a threat. I never really understood it. It's just like, yeah, every time you log into your bank account and you see that disability allowance, you'll be thinking of me. Like, I don't understand what's arousing about that. But I thought I'd try it, So I was like texting this girl. We'd been chatting for a while, going back and forth, and things have been started progressing. And we messaged, and she messaged me one day. I was like, "Just so you know, I'm home alone." I was like, "Oh, really?" She was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh." She's like, "I'm home alone. Got this big empty house all to myself. There's gonna be no one here. I'm gonna be so lonely being all alone." And I was like, "Oh, that sounds pretty scary. Good luck with that." And then yeah, I had it over. And she was like, "Hey, fuckface, come over." And I was like, "Oh yeah, cool. Right." And then we were going back and forth. And then, the subject of sex came up, and then we were like going back and forth, and then she was just like, oh, so how good is it gonna be? I was like, pretty good. She's like, how good is it gonna be? I was like, pretty good. And then I was just like, and I didn't know what to say. She's like, no, how's it good it gonna be? I was like, I don't know. And I thought of the wheelchair thing, so I was just like, oh, say something like that, like women like that, right? So she's like, how good is it gonna be? I was like, let's just put it this way. You'll be dead by the morning. Cheeky, But yeah, we don't talk anymore, so I'm still working on that. But you guys have been great. Thank you very much.